Barbara? Good.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
You got any video?
No video. Hold on, I'll leave. All right.
All right.
All right.
Is that you, Matt?
No, not yet. Hold on. I'm going to skip my technical support down here and see what I'm doing wrong. All right. Hey, Barb. Come here. I'm trying to get in on the Zoom meeting. I'm trying to get in on a Zoom meeting. I need your help.
Hello?
Don't mind her. Yeah,
Matt,
I'm here. Hold on.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. I can hear you.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for coming.
Michael Dudley, Councilman.
Join the meeting.
Hello, Councilman Dudley.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I appreciate her helping me figure it out in the front, at least this part.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for joining.
No problem. Hey, I appreciate the invitation, guy.
All right. So at present, Tom's having a problem with video. Everybody else, do you guys have some kind of video that you're seeing, or
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I had to do.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
All right. I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation at the same time. So as far as video, you should be able to see a PowerPoint presentation. If anybody has a problem with it, just email me a little later on, and I can email you a recording of the presentation. So the recording has started. I'm going to share the PowerPoint, and we'll get started.
Okay.
All right. So what my proposal is this. My proposal hang on, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. Okay, so my proposal is this. We are looking to provide some help desk support, managed IT service for the city of Garfield Heights. We want to be able to provide an ongoing computer server and laptop Apple computer maintenance and support presence, not to replace your existing IT person, but to work in unison with them. Kind of, I don't want to be the person carrying the toolbox. I want to be a hammer in the toolbox. We also want to be able to provide the city with cloud backup. I know the first thing that's kind of on everybody's mind is price. We will get to that. I do have a whole portion of the of this is about pricing and everything else. My goal is to reduce the risk to the city. Data loss, downtime, and with the coronavirus, there's things that we should be looking at outside of just, are the computers working, is everything backed up? We want to make sure that we're not a subject of hardware failure or electrical problems. We can do that by monitoring, constantly monitoring the health, the sensors inside of all the computers, the printers, the networks that exist. We have 3 rapid response options. Those 3 rapid response options are remote support. It's the fastest way for us to support any computer. We can get into it by the time, before we could even get to a car key to get into the car. Obviously, we have in-store support, which may or may not be applicable here, but we also have on-site support, so we can assist in that manner. And at this point, does anybody have any questions of anything I've gone over at this point? We'll continue. Maybe I'm not giving enough time. All right, we'll continue. So the remote support and managed service, it's kind of a combined service. Managed services really does correspond or really stands for remote support as well as health monitoring of a system, a network, a website, and any component connected to a network. The alerts we get alerts for network devices. All of the antivirus is centralized, so if there's an issue, we only have to look at one screen to see every computer's antivirus and if there's a problem or how we need to update it or how we could have to address it. The help desk support and user training. So it's more than just, hey, I got a problem, fix my computer. We also have the ability of training the employee that's at the computer to help them better understand what they need to be doing, whether it be Word, Excel, some kind of proprietary software. All of my technicians here would have remote access. There's only 2 of us right now that I have access granted to, but we can increase that at any time. The city or whoever would be in charge would get a monthly or weekly report of all the activity that we've performed. We have a full comprehensive list on our website, and the website, if you're not looking at this, is weldonpc.com/remote. This is a brief overview. This is what it looks like for us. We see, based on a map, we see 11 issues right here. Now, this is not a live view. This was taken a week or so ago. But all the redactions there are things that the government wanted us to, no, I'm just kidding. They're all things that the, I wanted to protect anonymity. I didn't want anybody's information being shared. So what you'll see here is a couple things that are in a critical status, meaning a sensor has tripped on the computer or on the network to let us know that there's an issue. We didn't get a response from a printer. We see that a CPU is off scale to the high side. So this is kind of how we're able to manage everything. Doesn't show it here, but we have 798 computers or network devices we're monitoring. Out of that, we only have 11. That's incredibly good. I took a snapshot a couple weeks ago of what the up and down time for the Garfield Heights website was. You'll see that there's been downtime between the 10th and 11th, and again on the 13th. We would get notified of this, and then we can send that information out to whoever would need to have that information disseminated. Again, this is our view of a printer that is being monitored. If you look about halfway down the screen there, it shows that the computer, the copier has about 60% of its toner remaining. We get notified if it jams. We get notified if the toner gets low. It's something we can address. Again, we can monitor for networks. This poor soul here, they kind of had some network issues. They've been closed, so their internet hasn't really been much of a priority. So they went down, came back up briefly around the end of the day, August 10th. They were back down to about the 13th. I need to look at computer status. I need to know if there's an issue. And then when there is an issue, it gives me a red block at the top right there. And as you come down the screen, it tells me more. It tells me that the Creative Cloud, which is a Adobe product, is using more processor than it's designed to. And we can at that point reach out to that user and find out what the issue is. Do they need more memory? Do they need more processing power? Is there a problem with the program? This is a proactive action. It's not a responsive action. We're responding to sensors, not customer input. At a glance, the last month we've closed 1,731 tickets, minus 12, that's the backlog we had. National average is 4 hours. Anything under 4 hours is considered acceptable. We're closing everything in about 3 hours and 21 minutes. Patch server and the patch status summary. To the left is all of our servers, to the right is all of our desktops. You're looking at that going, God, there's a lot of red there. Yes, there's supposed to be. A lot of what we're dealing with is a Windows 10 product, and if you're not familiar with technology at all, and I don't expect you to be, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the Windows 10 update issues in the news, how every time they release a patch, there's something that's been down for a week because of it. In response to that, all of my customers get a update that we push through this system, and we push those updates a week later to avoid the Microsoft shortfalls. The patch automation feedback, layman's terms, that's the updates we run. And then the automation is like things that we program in, like cleaning up temporary files and deleting cache, stuff that the user never would see unless they were digging for it. Keeps the computer clean, keeps the chance for any kind of cybersecurity issue lower. And again, you see a very low success rate here because we run these primarily on a Monday. We tell all of our customers when they come in, leave your computer on Sunday through the end of the day Monday, and only 40% of them do. Does anybody have any questions at this point? I swear that's the worst part of it. You guys can not glaze over anymore.
Hey, Weldon, it's
Yes.
Matt.
Hey, Matt.
When I see like Brunswick on there. Do you do this for the city of Brunswick?
I do this for a business in Brunswick. I don't do it for the city of Brunswick.
How secure is everything?
This system is HIPAA compliant. Our backup system is also HIPAA compliant. We do have doctors' offices involved on this.
I think part of the problem we're seeing is we have one guy and he does a great job and he tries to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even the mayor has made a comment in our last committee meeting for the Communication and Technology Committee. The mayor said, Bruce is one of those guys, you can ask him if he can handle it, and his answer will always be yes. But the mayor even said at some point in time, we're going to need to get him some help. And you could just see it by how our website really is. It's not very user-friendly. But my biggest concern on this, number one, is obviously cost, but number two is how secure things are, because I think, as a city, we have to have a certain security to our
Absolutely. I mean, you got, to my knowledge, you have financial servers in City Hall and that's actually something we're going to cover next, is the security and what the security implications are by not having a system like this in place. Our system has been incredibly secure. Like I said, we're just short of 800. Actually, we may have passed 800 endpoints, which is a device. We have 800 devices that we've passed today. But that includes doctors' offices. We've got a number of accountants that use this. We match legal, financial, and medical requirements for this. The system that we use is a HIPAA certified, HIPAA compliant platform.
And that should be adequate for what we're doing. You would.
I mean, yeah, it would most certainly. I mean, it absolutely would be.
Okay. I think at some point in time, we probably should just have you come in and meet with see if Shayla can call another technology meeting and have you come in and do this proposal.
Okay.
Somehow. I mean, I'm surprised she's not on here, but.
Yeah, we had a brief conversation earlier. She said there was a reason why she couldn't be on, but I'm not sure, without getting into particulars, I'm not exactly sure why she couldn't. So anyway.
That was my question.
All right, thanks, Matt. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just got a comment there.
Sure.
Same thing that you mentioned there, Matt, and I was concerned that we only have this one guy. And God forbid if he get really sick and he can't work for a couple of days because things happen. And the thing I like what Weldon is offering here, and should we look into that and take that direction, that if he's sick or go on vacation, we always got somebody available 24/7 that can respond. And I also agree that we don't have the best site friendly to people when they're trying to look up information. That's a concern that people mention on and on. So I agree with that point that maybe it should be a conversation held, because that is something that me and the mayor, I mentioned to him once before, that the website is not always friendly to everybody who goes on it. Even myself, I have had issues with it. But my main concern is the readiness 24/7 that as a city we should maintain, and also the fact I agree on you that we want to make sure we have great security. And like you say, he worked for doctors and hold on records. You know, that's a good response on his part. But that's all I have on that part, Weldon. But I agree with you on that part, Matt.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, you guys ready to keep going then?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so the next thing I wanted to talk about in particular was cyber security and cyber attacks. Managed service clients are 40% less likely to experience a crippling cyber attack. What does that mean? Well, in 2018, there was a cyber attack that cost the city of Atlanta $9.5 million to clean up. It was sometime around March 22nd, and leading up to this, up to the attack, the government was criticized for not upgrading its IT infrastructure. Is that what I'm saying Garfield's doing? No. This is an example of an enormous city spending a lot of money trying to recover data, including that of financial servers that was lost. In 2019, there were quite a few major attacks on municipalities throughout the country. And one of those municipalities was in Cleveland. If you look about halfway down, April 2019, Cleveland Hopkins International Airport did suffer a ransomware attack. For an airport, for a ransomware attack, that's pretty serious. About the cybersecurity, do you have any questions? Okay. Our audience ranges from home users, small, medium, and large or enterprise business users, churches, daycares, and something I don't have on here is CPAs. We have an exorbitant amount of CPAs who've sought us out throughout the years. It's kind of a strange niche. Whatever one we were aiming for, it just kind of fell in our laps. From a standpoint of what the technician sees, if I was remoted into your desktop, this is pretty much what I would see. This is a snapshot of me working on one of my servers here. So I do have ability to transfer files to and from the computer from our location. We can print remotely, and we can do a lot of support this way. The remote access, like I said before, we have a lot of ability of fixing and educating with a faster response time with the remote access. End users or employees have the ability with this platform of remote accessing their office computer from their computer and also using the file transfer and remote printing features. As I said before, the antivirus and website filtering is all handled through our platform. It's in a single user interface. It's incredibly user-friendly. It's something that we manage. It's something that we watch almost constantly here in the office. And even though we only have 2 registered technicians, all of our technicians do keep an eye on this platform as the day goes on. As you can see here on this particular day, we had a customer. She gets viruses a lot. As usual, there she is. 4 viruses, we clear them up. She somehow gets them back. And yes, that does read right. 58 days ago, she keeps getting the same virus. So it reads as the original virus date. The neat thing is, if you get a virus on your computer with this platform, and I have to manage, as I did this lady here, if you were to get the virus that she has, the way we handled it for her is filtered down to you. So the more people we have on this, the more secure everybody is. It's a very unique way of managing an antivirus, very intuitive. Any questions from the last section here? Okay. These are some of the businesses that I have dealt with. I don't know if everybody can see the screen. I'll read a couple of them. We have worked for the Department of Defense, NASA, the Air Force, Valvoline, USA Hockey, and we've got people around the corner, Redis Insurance and St. John's in the corner, Attorney and Granger. I do service customers all over the United States, and yes, in Hawaii and Alaska. It's not very fun when they have a problem early in the morning, because that's the middle of the night for us. Any questions there? Kind of put this a little close together, but we'll keep going. Data backup. As I said before, we manage everything as far as the backups go if the city would decide to go with the backup platform. Everything is encrypted at the computer, transmitted over the internet, decrypted at our side, and kept in a server. This is an example of the interface we use to make sure that everything is working okay, that everything is responding as it should be. We're able to back up laptops, desktops, and this includes Apple computers as well. We can also work with most servers out there, websites, and emails if we handle things like your website. Backups work two ways. You've got remote and you've got local. Local means it's something generally you would have to set up and you would have to maintain. The problem with that is everybody gets on the course of, yeah, I'm going to fix my own backup, I'm going to do my own backup, and then by the second week, it's a distant thought. So local backups are incredibly unreliable because people just don't do them. When we schedule these remotely, they're done every 8 hours. So nobody would be losing a day, more than a day's worth of work if there was a catastrophic failure. And these backups are desktops, like I said before, desktops, laptops, servers, everything. So that way, everything would be saved that way. My proposal for the city of Garfield Heights is this. There's roughly 150 computers. We have two pricing tiers. We've got the 2 columns in blue, the 2 columns in green. The monthly, no obligation, you like me for a month, cool, keep me, is $12.95 for a computer per month without a backup. You get everything else. This is not public pricing. This is the pricing that we would only offer the city. The advanced would be $17.95, and that would cover everything. There is an annual plan that you save 2 months on. So should you pay, if you want 5 computers it would turn out to be $10 a month, but it's only paid over 10 months, not the whole year. So if you pay for the year, you get 2 months free. What we're offering, and the way I think we should start this, if the city was interested, if it was able to pass the checks and balances that need to be passed, we would offer a 6-month obligation, no obligation trial. But my thought was we would start in September and end in March. Now that may not be realistic because there's no time for this to be really drawn up or done by the end of the week. At least I don't know. I don't know what your timetables are as far as getting approval for something like this. So my suggestion would be about a 6-month trial, if you're interested. The trial would include everything with the cloud backup and all of the managed services. What it would not include is the antivirus, because the licensing fees are higher there. After the trial basis, all of the non-remote services and products on hand would be offered to the city at 25% off. So if a switch goes down, a router goes down, a computer is needed, whatever our sticker price in store on those items are at the time that it happens is what we would take off. We take 25% off for the city. So why not we use Weldon PC? We're going to save you money. We charge flat rate on everything. So the dollars that we talked about before are going to be, it is a flat rate. If you use 1 hour of our service or you use 100 hours of our service, it's not going to increase or decrease the cost for the city over any amount of time. The cost is, the price is the price, and that's all there is to it. Not a lot of other managed service providers do that. Remote services are all included. There's no additional fee, like I said, per call or per hour. We do have multiple technicians available for multiple calls at a time. I can handle 2, 3, 4 computers at a time. One of my other technicians here is very capable of that. The other 2 technicians are probably 2 at a time. So we actually have the capability of handling quite a bit of workload at one time. We'll save you space. We kind of stay out of the way with the way we work the remote management. So the process of setting this up and starting it would require 5 to 8 minutes per PC. of a technician being at the computer. Once we're approved and authorized to access the computer, we could have this installed within hours. We can hold training seminars for the staff. We would only ever require about 15 minutes, and that's if anything was ever needed, if it's even needed. Again, the activity reports is pretty easy and quick to set up, and at that point, the only thing we would need to do is go live. So that's what I have. Does anybody have any comments, questions?
No, so far I'm with you.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Is your staff able to handle the police and fire department on weekends
We would all be available, yes.
or weekends as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, especially with the fire and the police department.
Yeah, that's going to require a lot more of I mean, all of us would be available for that. We can have
Okay.
somebody on call. We're generally closed on the weekends, but we can have somebody on call for that. That's not a problem.
All right. How many, what is your staffing numbers exactly? How many people are you?
There's 4 full-time, 1 part-time.
Okay, that's all I have. Thanks, Claude.
Thank you, Tom.
And well, the last thing I have for you guys.
Sure.
So we correct to say that you always have somebody readily available 24/7, right?
Well, generally, no. I would say it would be more or less, well, you're going to need it 24/7, aren't you?
Yes.
No, I'm saying if something came up and it's like you were saying, it's Saturday night, it's 11 p.m., you would have somebody available to correct that issue.
No, with the police department, the fire department, we'd have to. So I guess the answer to that question would be yes. We're going to have somebody available.
Okay. All right, that was my question. Thank you, Dan.
Because we're talking the whole city, right, Weldon, not just the Civic Center.
I have this, we would be available for 150 computers. And that was kind of the number that I had received when I had a couple meetings at the end of last year.
Okay.
Now, is it just computers, Weldon? What about like the phone systems and things like that, the other communication type things? Is that something you handle also?
The phones and the wiring are things that we outsource to other companies that wouldn't be included with this. But we do have, I have some limited knowledge, but I do have access to people that I've worked with for a while.
And of course, that probably your cost doesn't include the phones and stuff.
Correct.
That's my biggest concern too. Is right now I don't know what Bruce has in place and whether or not we can work with, like you mentioned being a hammer in the toolbox. Maybe your system can work along with what our current phone system is and those type of things. And I'm not sure what kind of cost that we're looking at, what we're already spending on what we have. I'm looking at your program here, 150, and that's up to 150 computers, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, let's say we had 150 computers at roughly $18 per computer per month. That comes out to about $32,400 a year. I don't think we have that many computers that we deal with in our system, but I think it's worth. Have you approached the mayor on this at all, or?
I approached the mayor about it, not at the end of, both at the end of last year and the year prior. But things didn't get much further than mayor and meeting with Bruce. I mean, I've met with both Mayor Kalova and Bruce, and things seemed to go well, but it never got to Barb's office. So I don't know why I couldn't ever really get a meeting with her. But
when did you meet with the mayor and Bruce? Just out of curiosity.
I met with him 3 times. It would have been about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year ago was the last meeting I had.
Yeah, I know we had that committee meeting just prior to COVID, and then COVID hit, and I don't know if anything's been done since then, but that was, I want to say that meeting may have been December, January.
That was February, Matt.
Was it February?
Yeah, I was in Alabama. That's why I know.
Okay, so if it was February, I remember Vic making that comment about, at some point in time, we got to get this guy help.
Right.
The guy works hard. I'm telling you, he does. And you hate to, like, I don't want to say anything bad about Bruce because he works really hard. It's just, he in his mind, he could do everything. And he still writes code too, Weldon.
Yeah.
Like that technology now, you don't have to write code anymore. And he still is a code writer for websites and stuff. That's how he does our website. That's why it's so far behind, in my opinion, is because he's too busy writing the code instead of just going on and on a different platform, making it happen.
Yeah. But we're interested. I guess part of my reason for trying to hit this as hard as I have been, as recent as I have been, is because I know Teletronics, they're providing kind of what we're offering for your servers, but not your desktops, not the individual workstations. At least that's to my knowledge. Am I wrong in that assumption?
I don't know. That would be a question for Bruce, in my opinion, because I don't know how that goes.
Okay, because what I'm trying to not have happen is sitting on my hands and not expressing my interest very hard. I mean, this is a hard inquiry here. I am interested in doing for the computers what Teletronics is doing for the servers. And in some cases, the email servers are hosted at the city. So when you see that website going down and up, there may be an outage in the emails as well. I have a better way of doing that I think Bruce and I could work together on. Again, I'm not trying to replace Bruce, but if Bruce needed to go out of town or if something happened to Bruce, we would be able to support the city through something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there. I think it's just something that we probably have to get the mayor, Bruce, and sit down with them, again. I don't know. I mean, I think as council members, it's something we can talk to Vic about, but, I think our branch is a legislative branch. So when we look at the budget, we can question these things, but really ultimately, I think the mayor and his administration are who actually makes that decision as to who does the computers and so on and so forth. We okay his budget for that, but then, I think as long as he's within his budget, I don't know that we can really tell him who he can and can't use. What do you guys think?
Day-to-day running of the city hall is up to that of the mayor and his administration, is the way I understand it.
I mean, unless he's grossly outspending, right?
Right.
We could question it, but I don't know that, I guess what I'm saying, Weldon, is I don't know how much help we would be at helping you. We could help influence by saying, listen, Mayor, we saw this great proposal. We think you should look at it, and so on and so forth. But I don't know that, we can tell him that he's got to add this. You know what I mean?
Right. No, and I knew that I knew that before I wrote the invitation for everybody to come to this. I mean, I know you can't, I know you have a certain level of, you're legislative, and I get that. But my thing is I want to make sure that I have out there everybody. And as I've written these proposals and sent them out, I've sent out quite a few, but I don't know if they've been received. I just don't know. And my purpose here is just to get the information out and get the fact that we're interested out to everybody before the end of this year, so we might be considered at some point next year for the, for the opportunity of working with the city.
Yeah, I say we need to follow up with a committee meeting and, see what the mayor's intentions are there. If this is something that he's, thinking about. I know he's got a lot on his plate.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
What's been going on, he's had a lot on his plate, so.
Well, oh no, were you through, Matt?
Yeah, I'm through.
All right, well, I didn't want to interrupt you. No, but I do think it's worth looking into, to kind of, maybe we have a conversation about it and decide that we might want to at least present it and offer the options, because at the end of the day, even I know him as well as us, we want to do what is best for the city, will secure the city, will guarantee the city's going to move forward, and that we protect what we have and try to make everything as accessible as we can to the people. But it'll be a conversation that we could have as well before we approach them. But I do like what I'm hearing. But like I say, it'd be nice for us to have a conversation, like you say, set up committee or something. We have a conversation about it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Mike. I mean, we've been, last time we got together was to talk about, making the website more user-friendly, and then COVID hit. So, and if there was any time we needed it to be more user-friendly, it's when COVID hit.
Right about that.
So I thank you for inviting me. Well,
I appreciate you guys coming in, and I guess, as a business in the city, I wouldn't say that I'm frustrated, because there isn't anybody that doesn't support me. I mean, you've all had computers here. I mean, Barb Byros, she called and briefly spoke to somebody. She's going to bring her computer in. Noreen Kuban, I mean, I could sit here and name names till I'm blue in the face, but everybody supports the business personally. But I can't get everybody's, it feels like as a business owner, I can't get the support professionally. And I just want to push for that opportunity to work for you professionally too.
Well, you made a good presentation tonight. The first time I, really got to hear a presentation to this, at this extent, and you've done a great job with it. So you put something out there on the table to have a conversation about now, So I think this is the first time you got me, Chairman, and the rest of us together like this, I believe, to have this conversation, and that do make a difference, Gives us something to work forward towards and stuff like that. I know I never had this conversation, and there's few other men you had other conversations. I brought my son a laptop from you, and hey, it's running great. For him to go to college, but you do. So I think it is something worth looking into. That's why I mentioned the chairman too. It's something for at least look into, and you're a great part of the community. And so, like I said, that's just a conversation that hopefully we get a chance to have among each other and everything moving forward. But I do like what you do in the community. I like what you do as services for my equipment as well, my personal equipment.
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
see, what I don't know, Weldon, is if stuff like this, if it had to go out to bid, let's say it's a sealed bid, I know the city and the way we've been, we would only take the lowest bid, but I mean, I think maybe you had that conversation before I even got involved in the city, because I have never heard of, other than what we've got going with what we're already in place, but like if you originally bid on something like this back before Bruce or whatever, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it wasn't before Bruce. It was after Bruce had come on board, because I know he's been around for, I don't know, about 12, 15 years or something like that, right?
I guess.
We had somebody else before.
What was that, Mike?
I don't think we have Bruce for about 12, 15 years now.
No, there was somebody else, Mike. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, we didn't have Bruce. Bruce ain't been here that long, He wasn't here and he wasn't here, I think, when Tom first came, neither.
No, there was somebody else. I just can't think of who it was.
That's what I'm having. I'm a brainstorm trying to figure out who it was, then
Right.
they brought, yeah.
Hey, Weldon, have you actually seen any of the computers that we're using? I'm just curious as to find out how updated they are. I mean,
I
when you,
haven't sat behind them, and I wouldn't be comfortable doing so. There is confidentiality and data issues with me sitting behind a computer without approval. I mean, I've put eyes on a physical computer. They're not. I mean, are they the most up to date state of the art? No, but are they ancient dinosaurs? I don't. No, I don't think they're that bad.
because I mean, with computers and technology, you can really throw good money into bad stuff that's trying to get it working. That a lot of times you're better off just buying all new, because some of this stuff could be so old. Who knows if you could even update it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it can be updated, but you got to be careful. I mean, you got to be careful in doing it. I think that's where why we've been so successful. The amount of time we've been here is because you got to know when to say when. Like what, I can't tell a customer to throw $400 into a computer that I could sell for $200. Like what? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But I mean, in the same respect, the computers that I have seen in the city are not computers that I see broken down very often.
Gotcha.
If my memory serves me right, when we first came in '09, the equipment was so bad. We had gotten a grant to bring stuff up to date then. Especially a lot of the desktops we got rid of, and we went to laptops and things like that. And that probably would have been 10 through 12 we did that. But as of recently, we haven't touched anything that I can think of, unless somebody else can prove me wrong. I don't remember us doing anything. Do you, Matt?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bring it up, Tom, is because when you go down to like the service department, you see the guys, cutting out a cap from a 1988 truck to put on a existing 1988 truck that we have, and you're thinking to yourself, it's 2020 and we're still trying to make a 1988 truck work because we just don't have the money to go out and buy new.
Right.
But I don't know where we're at with computers like that. Are we in the same boat?
That's what I'm thinking. When we were in fiscal emergency and stuff, when we had to update certain things, I think some of that equipment was replaced, and we got grants to do it at that time. And that would have been like the first 4 years of Mayor Colova's tenure. So.
Yeah, because it would have had to been years into it, because when we started up in 2007, I know we were notified we're going to physical emergency in 2008 when I came aboard in 2000, and you followed me right after that.
Right.
But we didn't have no money then, and I think even up until the time Matt came along, we still was struggling with the dollar bill, because we were just coming out that physical emergency from 2008, and for about 4 years or so, something like that. So you're probably right on the computer issue. I don't remember when we really done
Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, but remember how we didn't even have any of our fiscal information on computer at that time, and that was one of the biggest issues the state had with us. Remember?
I believe you're right.
We're still using the big blue book. Remember the blue book?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I'd say the last time a lot of this stuff was updated was 2010 or so.
That puts everything in about 10 years, which is actually it's kind of a pivotal time. I mean, in 10 years, it's do you fix it, do you replace, and it's not a crapshoot, but it is a case-by-case basis. It just depends on what, if it was a high-end computer in 2010, yeah, I'd probably still fix it. If it's pretty beat up or not very high-powered, yeah, it'd definitely be time to replace it.
Yeah, I think we should talk to the mayor and find out what if he had any plans to, you know, get the website up and running better and getting things, you know, more efficient in that respect. And like I said, it may not be high on his priority, but we could try to talk to him about it.
Yeah, we do websites too. I just didn't, it wasn't part of the, part of this presentation, but we, I would have no problem in setting up another, more functional, or not more functional, but more appealing to the eye website. But I'm saying that I should tread a little lighter because I don't want to step on anybody's toes with that. It isn't that they did a bad job, it's that they did a good job earlier.
You know, and Tektronix, you said, handles our servers, but I wonder if they do this for our computers too. That's something we need to look into, I think.
Yeah, because if they're doing it for your computers, then I would say it's time, look at what I have, and if that's something you want to pursue in 6 months, if we're less expensive, then let's take a look. If it's not, then,
Well, thanks, Weldon. I appreciate
Yeah,
this.
appreciate it. Well,
thank you guys. If you need anything, let me know. But I don't know. I guess you're going to have a conversation, or you're going to have some kind of a committee meeting or something, right?
well, I'm gonna talk to Shayla about what we talked about on our on this call tonight, and then see if she can put together a committee meeting. See if the mayor's there, and then maybe have you, even if we do it through Zoom, you can do your presentation to the mayor right then and there. But I have to find out. There's a lot of questions here, like what's our equipment like now? Is this something that he's even looking at? Because I have this feeling that Mayor Kalova, he's like the rest of us. He probably puts it in the hands of Bruce and says, "Here, I need you to handle this." And we really don't know what is being handled. When it comes to computers, you got to have good IT people. And I say people, not an IT person. I like what you're proposing because it's a team of people that can help us. Like Mike Dudley said, if you're on vacation, there's somebody there that can help handle, a problem if it comes up.
Right.
I think that's important because, like, I don't even know if Bruce ever takes a vacation, but what if something happens and he's not there? Then what? We go back to doing things the other way. We pull out that old blue book, Tom, and I don't even know what the answer is there. There's a lot of questions that we need to ask and we need to find out the answers to, when it comes to that. So we'll get with Shayla and find out, if she can put something together, if the mayor, let's talk to them, and then I'll, either I'll get back to you or she'll get back to you. Somebody should get back to you.
Okay. That'd be great. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
You too.
Everybody take care. Okay.
Hey, Weldon.
Yes.
This meeting was open to the public, right?
It most certainly was.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because that could be a problem, couldn't it? Well, no, there's 4 of us. I think Chuck's still on the call too, right?
Right.
I'm not sure, but I recorded it.
Oh.
Like I said, if you want a copy of this, I did record it. I can email you a copy, and I did post it publicly, so I don't think that should cause any issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we were the ones that called it, so I don't know if that really affects us. If a resident calls the meeting and we're on it, I don't think that's something that,
Yeah, we didn't call the meeting. You're right on that. We didn't ask
Right.
for the meeting. We attended a meeting function. We attended this meeting. Yeah,
Right.
It wasn't ours.
I don't think it puts any legal pressure on us. So.
No, we attended
All
this
right,
meeting.
guys. Have a good evening.
All right. Thanks. You guys too.
Bye
Take
now.
care.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.